I believe we're still waiting on Carm, but like I said, we had 11 o'clock scheduled reporting from Secretary Oldcrow. So at this time, we'll give the floor to him and give his report. And once we do get Carm, we'll get into session here. I think we're waiting on 1, 2. Dookie, nacho gana.
Jag ska bjuda av och helt bak för att man ska det är bra att det är så viktigt det var men det är det bara vidare var det var det för det så jag förstår att det är nej det är viktigt just det kan just det يعني بيخوف يخوف كده مش المحكمة بعد السرعة رئيس القانون بعد ده رواية مشكلة القانون شبه أيوة الشيطان هو يعني كده وعبش ما يخاف كده في سنة
This time I'll turn it forward to Secretary Godfrey. Oldcrow, oh sorry. Secretary Oldcrow. Sorry about that, sir. It's Eric and Aegis, but don't ball patio, you know.
Morning, gentlemen. Check it out. Going into the July session, into the dealership. According to the Constitution, it's my duty to report to you, gentlemen, every quarter. And I believe Luke, Sean, and Daisy already gave their report. That's the meetings last week, that's why I couldn't come in last week, but I apologize for that, and I thank you for your patience for allowing me to come in this late into the session. And, my first page here that I have on my quarter report is my talking points, which I'll go through. And then the following pages are more of the day-to-day, the detailed schedule where I've been and what I've done. First off, I'll start with the announcement of the General Council meeting on the 28th, which is next week, next Saturday. So, that'll be on Saturday starting at 9:45 to 2 p.m. I have done my announcements prior 30 days, so it's in the paper and that. All the General Council should be aware of it. Hopefully they are. If not, it's on the legislative Facebook or on the travel executive Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so I didn't see it yet. Anyway, that's for your heads up. Regarding elections, as you know, Senator Spotted, after he passed away, we had to fill that vacant seat, and that was what we did this spring. And now you have Mr. Senator Boyer here to fill that vacancy. The changing of district registrations is still open. At this time, I believe there were only about 25 people that have transferred so far that did want to transfer. We do have people coming in or asking me hours, when the hours are, and we put it to Monday to Thursday, Friday being closed to it so that the staff could get all the documentation in order, so that way they're not trying to do everything at the last minute. On September 30th, they're doing it weekly, But like I said, it's not very many people that are doing it, which I understand. People are already registered in their district, so they're pretty much settled. But there are a few that want to change. Energy Cloud Peak, that's the chairman's project. I just put it in there just to, and I believe they reported on that last week when the chair, or Monday when the chairman was here. I believe he reported on that. And the appraisals for the process for the schedule on the land buyback, that's where I was at Tuesday, when I was supposed to come in Tuesday, but I had to reschedule because it was conflicting with that. I didn't realize it was scheduled for, I thought it was a Monday that the meeting with the land buyback, but myself and Thomas Tender, Natural Resource Chair, or Natural Resource Cabinet, myself went to Billings and met with them. There are a few issues that the tribe in their finances, as you know, we're in our financial situation, and some of the contracts and monies that come in are being garnished by our IRS, as you know, and with the cooperative agreement that we were trying to do, we have it till tomorrow for the chairman to accept or reject it. If not, you'll have to sign an MOA, and the Bureau would be the one that handles the land buyback rather than the tribe. We were trying to go with the cooperative agreement, but the reason for that is because IRS garnishing wages, if the buyback sends money to the tribe for the project, they're afraid IRS is going to garnish those wages and the money will not get to the project. So we have to prove that that's not going to happen. That's kind of out of my hands on that part. That's with the CPAs, with the chairman and that, but it's just for your information. Other than that, they've extended the buyback. I don't know why they've extended it, but they keep extending it. And at this time, I believe they said offers were going to be sent out in November. That's the latest. Everybody was hoping for this summer. I know that's what I reported back in April, that they were going to be submitted by June. But as you know, right now it's July and they're not offered yet. I keep getting calls, people coming to my office for that information. But it's been pushed back to November. Maybe that might be a good thing because we're still fighting for the 25% or more percentage regarding that, because right now, just the other day when we met, it was still less than 25% ownership. If you have 25% or more on a parcel and you wanted to sell it, the buyback will not send you an offer. It is only for those less than 25%. So, yes, on the allotments. So, that's just on that. So, maybe if it is pushed back to November, because Senator Testa, I just got off the phone with Michael LaValle, and we talked about that. Tester's pushing for that 25% or more. So, I don't know if some of you seen the news that Tester was kind of slammed the buyback program for offering less than 25%, saying that's kind of defeating the purpose. So he's kind of come to bat for us, which might be a campaign move, you don't know that since this is election year. But he goes to bat for us, and hopefully they will change that, but if not, it'll be less than 25% yet. When I was talking to Mike, Mr. LaValle, earlier this morning, he said that, I guess, John McClanahan, who is the head of the land buyback, he stated that at that time that they were possibly going with 25% or more on selected parcels. And so I got back with land buyback and said that we would need that information from them so we know what is up for sale, which ones are going to be offered. Because if we don't know, how can we make that certain parcel a priority if we don't know what land it is? So there's a lot of information that we need to receive. Meeting with the buyback, they are sending us a flash drive with all the parcels, so that will help us to make those determinations. So they will be sending us a flash drive with all that information. You can't just send it over the email because it's too much information to be sent over email. And that's on the buyback Cloud Peak Scholarship. There will be selecting 2 more students for the co-op program. The committee on that is Tom, which is the Health and Human Chair. He's on that committee. Myself as Secretary, Cabinet Head for Education Director, and I believe the Speaker of the House was supposed to be on the committee. Do you remember? Because Eric was on that committee at that time. Oh, okay. So those are on the committee that try to select the 2 scholarship people for that. And that co-op program is a great opportunity because what that does is, I believe I explained it last April, but I'll restate it for Mr. Boyer's information and some of those that might not have been here. What the co-op program does is we provide the scholarship, and Cloud Peak will provide the tools for either 2 occupations, either diesel mechanic or welding. And they have to be enrolled in Sheridan at the college there. And those 2 students will have to, on their off time, work part-time at the mine. I believe they said the starting wages were $22 an hour, which is, to me, is a lot of money to be making. We had one student drop out because he couldn't keep up with that demand of trying to go to school and trying to having to work on the off hours, which were the weekends. They didn't have to work in the evenings on the weekday, but it was just they didn't generally go to school on Friday, so they had to work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think the workload was a little bit too much for him, so he relinquished it, but we were able to select another one right away that was already at the college there. So right now, those 2 will be still enrolled this fall, but they're picking 2 every year. So they'll be picking 2 more this fall. So the gentleman might know someone that's interested, that's going to be going to school there. Just let Tom or myself or on the committee send us an email or just call us or whatever. Let us know so we can get them on board and let them know that you have to be dedicated to that project. Once you're done with that program, they'll hire you for 2 years, hopefully for more, but you're only obligated to stay with them for an extra 2 years. After that 2 years, you can either stay with them or go on to another company or whatever wherever job that you might find available. The reason for all this is they want to get ready for the project that's coming up, so that way we have crews working on there rather than other non-crews working there. And okay, enrollment. I got you a handout in the back here. It shows how you guys asked me the other day when I was here what the enrollment was. It's 14,032. This was as of the 12th when Rosella Verdo, which works for me. I had it printed out the other day. She got onto their database, and so that as of the 12th, this was 14,032. And somebody asked me about general council numbers, and then if you subtract 5108 from that, that would give you your total. I would have those numbers with me right offhand. But anyway, and then the previous pages there shows the breakdown of the age groups. you want to get more into detail, 0 to, I believe they had like 109 or something. So, yeah, 109. So the oldest tribal member at this time is 99. We have one person there. Stevens, Stan Stevens. Yeah, oldest. So he's still, he's 99. So he's the oldest tribal member. Another project I'm working on right now is the Northwest Energy. Like I said, I met here with infrastructure. We have the attorneys. We're supposed to get in contact with them, but they haven't scheduled a meeting with them yet. But once they do, I'll invite infrastructure chair here, Mr. Goodluck, to that meeting with whoever committee members want to be involved. I want to keep them in a loop so that way they'll know exactly what's going on in the process. The pipeline expired back in 2010. I reported to the committee at that time, but I'll reiterate, at that time I believe we were still negotiating with, well, not me, but the executive was still negotiating with Williston Basin Pipeline at that time. So Bill Watt, who was the key attorney at the time, he pushed them off and said, we'll negotiate with you guys later after we're done with WBI. I guess that was what he stated. I got some of the documents that showed that information. And then after that, we got done. So this January, we got in contact with them, started getting the ball rolling, and then I realized a couple months ago that I was supposed to be the one that had oversight. So I went ahead and met with Brandon and met with our attorneys and try to get a grasp of where we're at, met with the Bureau, and went from there. And there is another transmission line that what Northwest Energy does have also. The first one, 2010, is a pipeline. It's oil. No, I believe it's natural gas. And then the transmission line, of course, is a power line. That one expired in 2016. They want to negotiate the 2022 transmission line also at the same time, but I guess we're still talking about that. I don't know. I would recommend to wait on that until we're done with these two, and then continue on with that one. Let that one be separate. I don't think I would want to put that one in the same pot, so to speak. So that is my report, and then for information, as you know, I told you guys the other day that Clifford Burton Ground came in the other day and requested for a petition, and once we got everything notarized and signed, I distributed that. I gave him that petition sheet, and then they went from there. And I heard yesterday they were across the street saying I was the one that started it or initiating it or doing it or whatever. But anyway, that's for your information right now. So that's what General Counsel is having an initiative resolution. I have a copy of the resolution of that. I read through it, and it's exactly the same as what was introduced here. So anyway, I didn't make copies of this, but I'll go ahead and have maybe the staff here make copies for you guys on this, and then whatever you guys have for your information. Okay, at this time, I'll just open up for questions, comments.
Thank you, Secretary Oldkirk. Just one comment on the process. If I had Leslie print out a process of the initiative, the whole process of what it has to go through, and almost a percentage. We got some like what 200 signatures, I believe. That
2,200, and I can't remember. We'll have to
somewhere within that.
Yeah, use these numbers here and then multiply it by 0.25, and you'll get your 25%.
Because so
22. I can't remember the exact 22. I know it's 22 plus.
So if you guys didn't understand that process, some of you guys came in yesterday and were wondering what was going on across the street, and I mentioned hey, they're going through the initiative process, and this is what they have to get, and I had them Leslie printed out the whole process, so if you guys lost it on your desk or anything, get with Leslie and she'll get you another one. So, thank you.
You know, for information, out of that 22,000 plus, once they get those signatures, if they do, they'll come to my office, submit it to me, we'll have to screen through, make sure all those signatures are legitimate and they come up with the numbers, there's no double signatures or whatever. Once we come up with that, and if they do come up with the numbers they need, I will have to call for an election within 30 days. Once there's an election, after the 30 days, the number of people that vote have to meet that 25%. If they don't meet it, it's a moot issue. If they do, the other challenge is the number of people that vote, it has to be 25% of whatever number it is. Let's say that 3,000 voted, it would have to be 2,000 people that voted for it. That's just kind of giving a guesstimate, or not a guesstimate, but a figure as an example. So let's say 2,800 voted. So what is that? 1,700 people would have to vote for it. So anyway, whatever the number is, it would have to be 2/3 of that. So it's quite a challenge, I think, but
So, I got a question on the notary portion. It states that you have to sign in front of the notary. Is that the whole one?
no, it's just the people that are distributing. They're the ones that we gave those sheets when we assigned them their sheets. They wanted 10 sheets of notary signatures of people that were delivering those. Okay, I have with it. Let's see, or someone make this print. I have the petition form here, and on that form, on the top, it says petition, and it says the petition and the name, or the title and the name. That would be the person that's distributing this, and they have to sign a notarized document that they are a distributor. So that will be submitted to my office. I'll have to match those with the people that are initiating this also.
So do you have a list of the distributor names?
No, they'll provide it to me after they're done. They'll have the list of the notarized one.
Okay.
So, well,
I believe Senator Hogan has a question once you're done with that.
Go ahead.
I had some constituents ask me yesterday what it was about. So we talked about this. Well, they gave me a piece of paper signed this will be oil rich, like the oil charge. So they signed it. And they said, what is it about? I said, did you shoot a contract or anything? He said, no. So I explained it to them. And they said, shoot, how do we take our name off? So while I was handing out bread, they were asking, not only here, but Oshkosh was asking why they take their name off.
All they need to do is go back to that petitioner and have them scratch it off. They can probably scratch it off themselves. And that way they're ensured that it's not on there. Because they do have that right to that. Because they're supposed to, the person that's handing it out should have this copy on them, so that the person that's signing it is reading it, so that way they understand. And I wouldn't sign a petition unless I read something like this,
Yeah, they took the petition and it just has where you sign your name, it didn't have that stapled to it.
Okay.
And I have that in my truck because they brought it to me.
Yeah. So they probably just have this, right? One of these.
They just have that.
Yeah. It just has the title on there. That's all it has on the title on this one. So I would recommend if a person, it's kind of common sense not to sign something unless you really understand what it is, too.
Is that illegal if they don't have that back page on there?
No, not necessarily, because like I said, it's common sense for a person not to sign something unless you really understand what it is, instead of going by word of mouth.
So I'm looking for questions, Senator Yula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary, guests, members of the body. My question is on the education part. I believe, you know, when we talk about education, we want to help the road membership out. And we have a tribal member who got a hold of me, and his son is attending Northern Arizona, I think Northern Arizona State University. He's going into kind of like mechanical engineering or some type of this field there, engineering. And he said that he's applied for this Cloud Peak scholarship because he sent it, and he just wants some feedback from you guys if you got it and what's the status of it. So if you can just give me your information.
Okay, I would have to meet with Calvin Pereira if I wanted to get out of the one.
But he is a tribal member and he's a brother. Just want to address that. Yeah, I will.
All right, I'll follow up on that.
If you can invite me and also the committee next meeting.
Yeah,
Appreciate
sure.
that.
I would like to.
If we can maybe sit down together and do some research on how this negotiation stuff goes about, dealing with the pipes and all that.
I know I haven't met with Dennis or anybody since we left. I just gave a directive to Dennis to start researching on numbers and that. I've done on my own, and Captain Head that's working on it, Thomas, because that way I can. Then they're supposed to report back to me.
Prova. Test. Thank you, Speaker. Members of the body and the visiting executive. I just have a few questions that I wanted to ask you tomorrow. Exactly tomorrow will be 480 hours they owe my dad. He's set up by law in here through Union Commission. They did pay period 13, they didn't pay him. They didn't do what 10, 11, 12. And now he's supposed to survive on that. I think you guys should help out their constituents also by trying to get them paid, especially the hours too. You know, that's a couple months there too, but yeah, tomorrow is 480 hours that they haven't paid him. Yes.
I know, they haven't been paid either, huh? They haven't been paid either. I'm surviving by my son who works at the Exxon right now. Gives me a couple $100 here and there. Anyway, gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I sold my old junk cars. I had to go to a state for my son for tennis, and I had a couple junk cars at the house, and I sold it, and I went to my leasing and got an extension. Everybody said I got paid, but that's all right, you know. I said we gotta do what we gotta do. Even told my wife, I think I'm gonna work at McDonald's in the evenings now. Which if you see me coming to the drive thru, don't laugh, otherwise I'll throw something in your fries. But anyway, it is tough, man. It's getting frustrated.
Sorry,
Can you explain more on the pipeline? Is it an existing pipeline, or are you going to put in more pipe? What are you
It's an existing right-of-way that expired. We left a map here. I don't know if it's up here or not, but anyway, you can look at it, and it's over down by Prior. It's going down that right through Prior Gap.
Is it gas or?
It's gas, natural gas.
And how old is the pipeline?
It's over 50 years. It's up. Yeah.
So,
50 years.
so we can tell them you want a new pipeline, take the existing one out, do a brand new one, a fresh one. If not, those corroded, they do end up leaking.
Yeah, we probably have to, well, EPA is the one that has to approve that, so I believe they have to go through their approval on the NEPA process, that's what it is on those. So, like I said, we haven't really negotiated with them, but we could bring that up. And if you're on that committee, you could probably bring that up and we meet with them.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see get a back from you, start potholes and check these pipes because
They have these scopes, they push it through inside when they drive, and they push them through and they inspect their lines that way. I remember we were talking about that when we were meeting with Williston Basin. Anyway, how they inspect their lines.
you can inspect the line that way, which is pretty easy. You visually see it, pothole it, go around the outside, you get problems first. They should be put in a pipe that's only a year old, and once you tap it and tie into it, that one was already growing. So it's just a lot of things I learned out there that I always see it overpass us here on the reservation. And people know that, but my drawing is 10 years old, and that's the whole thing this year.
That's a good point. I appreciate that. That way we can bring that up. Didn't really think about that, but that's a good point. Thank you.
Any more questions? Senator Owen.
Got another one. On this land buyback. I know it's good to put money in our pocket, but why don't we go after non-tribal lands?
That's what we always bring up. We always bring that up, but
Why
it's,
can't we pass it in here?
no, you can't. It's a federal statute. It's it's part of that Cobell settlement, and that settlement requiring the Bureau to purchase lands for all these tribes that are fractionated. So the Bureau is the one that's required to do all that. That's where your cooperative agreement comes in that we tried to do. We did that on the first one, and the tribe is the one that handled it, but still you had to do the lands that were already allotted. See, what they're trying to do is reduce the fractionation of lands on the reservation, because that's what came about on the Cobell settlement in the first place. So the government's trying to backtrack and clean itself up, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of out of our hands on that. It's like each tribe, it's the Bureau that's doing it, but if we can't come up with that cooperative agreement, it has to be an MOU where the Bureau handles that. But like you said, yeah, the gentleman that is head of this, his name is John McClanahan, and we've met with him over and over trying to buy fee lands that were once trust. That was our take on, that was our argument. Like these were trust lands at one time. Said, yeah, but they're not fractionated. We're trying to reduce the fractionation. So, that's why that less than 25% ownership. Let's say on a parcel there's 60 owners, so you own just a very fraction of it. So those are the ones that they want to reduce that fractionation, where the tribe would own more of it rather than having so many heirs on one piece of property.
To me, this is my personal opinion, before I did the first one, was the only reason why they're doing this is so that when they do come in and they need it right away, they don't need to go through all these individuals. And Trump's already trying to come in, and not have to go through all these, trying to do the tribe. I said, try to say yes, I'll do what I want to do. That's my personal opinion. If we had all these people still on there, all these signatures. Now, after the land buyback, maybe that there's not going to be one person in the tribe, maybe the right way, right, for 50 pounds.
Yeah, that's true.
Senator Demonte. Mike down. Can somebody get Demonte on mic here?
John.
Luke, your shirt down. Engaged.
Bigger day, getting that guy. Speaker, Secretary, Secretary, Body. Yes,
Na, era tinig bako with that you vote to that. We want to the Beijing on we'd like to know what we can do to straighten it out because there are some new voters that haven't registered anywhere, and there was a judge in prior. She turned away the new votes and votes down. She turned away a lot, and what's a year of them next go around. But gee, all those shit, I'm still debating. Trying to get a lot from Reno, maybe half of them. We want that process to go through, so these new voters aren't turned away because they turned away quite a bit, and some of them were just barely 18. And what happened? They were in a district. They never registered anywhere. I guess they had that 30-day time period to register at a district, and they go. Otherwise, just.
They're supposed to be able to register that same day. You should have told us. You should have informed the judges, or not even the judges, but our office. He did actually. I think we could have done something about it, but it's kind of too late. But anyway, I think Rachel can meet you.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to stay ahead of it. All that, and those AYs, we're taking some from Reno, and but we got some new voters, so we're trying. Now, what guy was?
They got a good hit for register.
Short term, go for deadline.
November 30th.
September 30th, go on. Okay.
Transfer.
I got a question. The LVB fund. Short when exactly does that reoccur? That and then date, someone give me kind of a rough estimate of when that actually reoccurs, and then how much average next go round.
You mean, no, I guess it trickles in, that's my understanding. I guess Monday, we can ask Gary, we're supposed to meet with Gary Monday.
And we got that special session at 9, so it's gonna
You have a chat and get over there. Yeah, because we have that meeting with Kerry Monday, and then Jordan's good. That way, information on federal monies, how it comes in and that. So that'll be the time to really ask her, but from 9:30. What about forestry conference room? On that, the way I understood it was that it comes in when the leases are being paid on those properties. They transfer it over to that OST. But I don't know, I don't think it comes in as a lump sum, but I know it's like from October to January when these leases start making payments politically. Actually, that's my understanding, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and talk to ask Kerry about that.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions for Secretary?
I think the total on that will vary too, because like, what if somebody doesn't pay their lease, or what if there was no lease on it or something? So it could be like, let's say it was 1.1, and then some of them weren't leased or whatever. It could be 1.2, I don't know, something vary, I believe. But like I said, we'll ask Kerry Monday when he was our.
All right. One more from Senator Lula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Secretary Guest, members of the body. My question was when Ellie Berghat came in and did a report on tribal fees, and we asked if we had payments done, and they said half was paid, I believe, and the other half wasn't tax. And I requested that information from the chairman. He said he paid it with severance. I haven't seen the documentation of it saying that it's property is paid, because we're getting two different answers. We're getting an answer from the person that runs the program, she said that it was past due on some of the tax payments, the tribal fee. And I questioned the chairman on that, and he told me he paid it with severance. So I'd like to see documentation. That's my question. So we don't lose these tribal fees to tax sale. So that we can get that documentation and appreciate that.
Yeah, Dave, if I heard him correct, did he say Dennis was supposed to come in tomorrow? What do you thought? To give us the report? Yeah, remember? Is that what he said? That was what I heard him say when he was here Monday, or was it Monday? Was that Monday? He was here, or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, good question. And then he said Dennis was supposed to come in Friday with a spreadsheet or something.
It's the 16th.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good opportunity to ask him about that too. Because Ally keeps coming to my office one thing. I keep sending him information too, so, he's paid because I'm kind of pushing from my side as much as I can, whatever it's worth.
Any more? Going once? Going twice? Thank you. Oh, Vice Chair's got a question.
And land buyback. My question is this. Jag laws skulle komma och kästiga på det så I know that like AIC is another whole different. I know it's a committee. And multi-district, sometimes I'll just go over it in your mind and multi-district and AIC, natural resources that are going EYD, so that there's no recommendation or anything, so it's sitting in there. So I know that they took a different avenue to take an initiative. Those scenarios, it goes through my mind. Nawaja, is that the way to go? Is that another route to go? What's the critique? So those two different things. Now they're taking a different route, going through the secretary, file it. That's the law. They want to do an initiative for all the referendum vote with the tribal membership and data, but it's still sitting in committee. Are we circumventing? So guys, again, data. The other thing is that what if those scenarios that what if they kill it and they bring it on the floor, or you can kill it in committee. You can kill it in committee and you that the IC deal with that. If you don't approve it in there, then it's a dead issue. It don't go to the floor, it doesn't go to the full legislature. That's where it's at. Look at the Yosis that's actually there's a dead issue which they have to propose again. You go through all the process, and then on the other hand too, if it was override, the override for the referendum, couldn't call it that. So that's where you got to really think about that, the discussion that I in the AIC. It's still in committee and they haven't proposed, they haven't moved on it, but it can die in committee. You could, and you could die. I didn't call it. If it dies, then is this initiative for that? What happens? It's a dead issue. So.
No, this is initiative. I don't know where's legal knowledge yet. Anyway, Anyway, an initiative is by the General Council that according to the Constitution, they have that right to introduce resolution. Yeah, let's say enrollment, they didn't like something in enrollment, they can provide an initiative. But that process, the other two schools, they have to come up with that 25% signatures, have a vote, 25% or more have to vote, and then out of that, it's 2/3. So
Have to say yes.
yeah. So now it's two bills exactly the same. Let's do this, and I believe it's exactly the same. There's two resolutions. One's coming through here, and the other one's going from the outside through the General Council. right now you said you could kill it in committee, but my question now is to the speaker is, was it accepted on the floor in a session?
So yeah, so like I said, I was a step ahead of you guys. Actually, before I had Leslie print out a sheet on where we're at on this AIC. So we're, like I said, we're in debate on it. It's already introduced. It's on the floor.
So it's alive.
It's alive. It's in debate. Rule 20 was called, and now we're still in debate. District meeting. So, but it's natural resource. So now,
you can't kill it in committee.
yes, it's on the
You can't
floor.
kill it in committee. It has to be killed by the body in the session.
So I had her print out a sheet of that. It should be on your guys' desk also. If you guys don't have it on your desk, let's give it Leslie again and get your copies. But I had her print out where we're sitting at on that whole process. Any more questions for Secretary? Two. Last cheating. Yeah.
Yeah, again, LBB, land buyback. And, sorry, 240,000 acres. Out of that 130 million, we got back fractionated land of 240,000 plus acres. So that, was it 244, 246 or something like that, right? Yeah.
That's the estimate, yeah.
And so the 244,000 acres, man, we get, and that's what generates this revenue. And I believe there was a stipulation in there, and the previous chairman came in here because it can only be bought, you can use it for economic development. For economic development, and that was a proposal, and I think he already went through this legal and to buy back land. We can buy fee land. That was a stipulation, and you could outside, or we could buy that fee land.
That was the whole purpose of that,
Yeah.
so we could buy feed.
Yeah.
So,
But those were the two stipulations of the guild, for economic development, otherwise it goes to per capita. We usually go state. And so the bills usually why you would put out is that's just my question. We can pay bills with it like we're doing right now. It's a legal question.
yeah,
And it's a fair question to it. And can we do that? Are we opening up a door, whatever? I don't know.
I can try to answer, I believe a little bit of. We asked that question too. That was one of our main questions. Economic development's pretty broad. So that's what we asked legal Thor too. He agreed and said that word economic development's pretty broad. And then in yesterday's committee meeting, they put in language one time only. So that helps answer some of the questions of that. And then that was the question I had too, is on economic development. That's a pretty broad, you can use it, from what I understood, that's use it in many ways, economic development. Because I asked that very question too, on legal, and so what would BIA say to that question? Any more? She's going to hand out some of those, if you guys can get that